Thank you. Okay, William. So we are starting again on September 22nd, 2022. Uh, so this is what we spoke last week, and then we are continuing from here. So today, I would like to focus on like if there exists this levels of consciousness. We spoke about mind last week, and we drew this. I would like to spend some time to know more about the void and the awareness. So let us, when you gave some input about the void, now let us continue our journey with uh, awareness now. So when you say aware, yeah.
One other thing about void too is like there's also the terminology of the void within the experiencing, like the void out of which everything is appearing within the experience. You know, even though that's also happening within the mind, it's just another kind of another terminology for void is like the space in which everything is appearing within the experiencing.
Appearing within the experiencing, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So then let us stay here for a minute. Okay. So then I'll also ask this question. See, now I am the persona here, or the personality, which is made up of thoughts, right? A thought has appeared, and then the thought itself has got like many things, like he and me, right? So now that me, which is a representational thought, I'm speaking about that at this level. For me, how can I see the void?
The person can't see it. I mean, you could see the space.
Okay.
Like you, as the person, you see space.
Okay. Okay. You know what? That is an interesting thing. Then let us also start from there. The person can see the void. Sorry to ask that unfortunate question.
Not within the mind, like the two different voids that we're kind of talking about.
Okay.
Like you can be aware of the void within the mind.
Person.
But you can't see it as the person.
Can be aware of the void.
No, the person cannot.
Yeah.
See, this is where it gets tricky because, like,
I know.
Terminology.
So, William, somebody has to build this cat. Honestly, from 3,000 years, people are speaking about it. And you know, let me also make this statement now. I want to tell you this from many days. The statement is, even the word awareness and consciousness, people use interchangeably. And I know many masters say pure consciousness is inside awareness. Like they interchange this and this, right? So honestly, the whole thousands of Advaita masters has to come to an agreement first. Hey, look, I know when we are putting in.
Good luck.
But why? Because
it's the relative experiencing, and everybody's seeing things from their own point of view.
But the language's job is to explain something as precisely as possible. And then, see, you are using language. When you're using language, and if you're using a word that, and you tell me this word, hey, this is awareness or consciousness or void, then what am I supposed to interpret out of it? What am I supposed to make out of it?
But the thing is, eventually you have to see that you can't make anything out of the words. Like that's the whole. Like if you're still there as the mind trying to figure out which terminology is right.
but
then
then
you'll never move beyond the idea of like what you are, what you
but
think you are.
but William, words are the starting point. Wordlessness is the ending point. Now
Yeah, but
my problem.
you have to come to understand the interpretation of what the meaning is behind the word, and not just take the word for the rule. Like the word can't be the rule. You have to interpret what the person's
But why don't the
meaning is.
no wait? Why don't the person do the job? Why don't the speaker say, hey, look, this is my definition of this word. When I say this word, it means this. When I say this word, this is what it means. I
Because
know
that's the way multiplicity is. It's going to arise however it arises. Like
it's,
it's
but
not
William,
law. There is no
no,
law.
no, wait, it's not even about multiplicity. Let us assume somebody understands that they are the one, not the multiplicity, but then they use their mind to explain to others using words, their mind and words. If it is their mind and words, I'm just requesting why don't each of the people who
Yeah, but
talks they define their words?
everybody's been conditioned into seeing things a different way.
Let everybody be conditioned. That is not about everybody. My question is about the speaker, the people who say, "Hey, look, I've understood that I am the universal consciousness." Those people, when they come out to talk, they have to first define these terms from their point of view or their understanding with their examples in a simple way
Well,
before they talk.
if that's your view, then you're never going to move beyond the interpretation of your mind that thinks that it has to be that way.
But William, I think this is a starting point. The ending point
Yeah,
is
but we're not going to fix that here in this conversation. Like, you know what I mean?
why not?
You're
No,
gonna
this is a
you're gonna
starting
say
point.
you're gonna say every person
Yeah.
in the world has to see things this way. Like they should be teaching things this way.
No, no. What I'm trying to say is every teacher has to start defining their core 10 words which they use. They have to define, or you know what? They have to redefine. Let us put it this way. They have to define from their point of view because theirs is the so-called original experience, right? See, dictionary, many people from thousands of years, people have put the word consciousness and awareness and the void and mind and thought and personality. It's in the dictionary, which is mutually agreed upon by all 8 billion people in the world. Now, if the Advaita teachers, if they go
How about
inside and yeah,
how about I just say okay and then we move forward.
I'm surely okay for that. But this is going to be, this has been my question from many years, but I have to follow this. I will follow this later, but I'm okay for now. But then I will fight to make that happen. That any spiritual masters, before they start talking, they have to define their top 10 words, such as especially these core topics. They have to. It is their responsibility. Okay. So obviously, you do not want to delve deeper into this now. Absolutely
No,
fine.
I agree with you, but I'm just saying, like on a universal level, like how are you going to get everybody to agree upon the same word?
That is not our business, William. Your business, or at least the Advaita teacher's business, is not to transform the world. If they talk little bit, and they talk little bit only, whatever the little bit they talk, at least 10 words, let them define from their point of view and talk. And I'm not even agreeing all the 1,000 Advaita teachers has to agree on their words. They can have
Okay,
their own words.
I thought that's what you were trying to
No, no,
infer.
no, no, no. Every single teacher, before they talk, they have to sit for a day. Or I'm okay, they talk, talking is needed, but in some point in their life, they have to define these terms. And every single teacher, and also obviously, this is English. If somebody comes from some part of India who doesn't know English, and if they speak in Sanskrit or Hindi or any of those 100 languages, then they have to define those words. Like consciousness might mean prajna in Sanskrit language, right? Awareness might mean something. So when they use those words, they have to define those words. Uh, from the layman's point of view.
I'll just say one thing, that
Yeah.
there's something to be said about not emphasizing what the definition is, to not
Mm.
entertain the mind that is looking to grasp hold of an idea of like what it should be,
Okay.
like what the definition is, because then the mind's there holding on to this idea of I know what it should be or what I should expect it to be like.
Correct. That
So
is the possibility of corruption. As you see in this
yeah,
left side, that is the possibility of corruption. But we should know these are all pointers to the reality or the oneself. We are given the disclaimer already. Hey, look, even if the master says, or people who have seen it and realized that says there are levels of consciousness, that is actually is a possibility of corruption. These are all pointers. You go and sit and see and validate every single definition. And if you don't like this master's definition, if some other master definitions make sense to you, or from your point of view, you can keep it. But the end goal, which is not a right term, or the point is to know that you are not here, but you are everything.
yeah.
Right. Okay. So that is why I am insisting on that. I'm not going to leave it. This is my point of view. Every master from their language, from their convenience, and then like every master comes up with awesome, phenomenal examples, like Ramakrishna parables, like the stories of Ramakrishna is like a volume. There is so many beautiful stories Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says to say that you are that, right? So
Mm-hmm.
every master comes up with awesome stories, and every master comes up with terminologies, but my only request is they have to do some basic definition. I know it's not easy, but uh, we are doing it. But I believe it will be hugely, because we are using words anyway, right? So like this. So sorry, I spent too much time on it. That is why I know, even though this is a struggle, if you don't mind, let us spend few minutes. uh, just put some thoughts of whatever you think about the thoughts or the personality. You are saying, um, ca- what does the thought or personality do related to the void?
Uh,
When you,
the the thought appears out of the void.
okay, the thought or the person appears out of void. See, this is actually very, very beautiful, even for me personally, hugely helpful insight, which actually I'm struggling from few months this year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because the world view of an average common person is, there is this world and there is me, and thought appears in me. Like they don't even know, like thought appears in me, like I am the thought. When the thought appears, then that becomes real, then I take the
Yes.
role and start fighting and all. I don't even know a thought appears from void. Knowing
Mm.
that self is a huge challenge, and an awesome, like it shifts like the whole thing like 180 degrees totally. That I think I am real, but you're saying no, no, there is no reality for this thought or the person, because it appears out of void. This
Yes.
itself stops me and makes me to rethink my whole world. And it's not easy to digest, right? And you know what, to extend this theory, uh, i- let me add a key word: the thought, person, and even the world appears out of void. Is this a valid
Yes.
statement? This is
Yes.
undigestible fact for me. I see the sky and the trees and the clouds, and you come and tell me, hey, it's all appearing inside your void.
Yeah. The thing is that you have to also incorporate that there's only this now moment. So that's how you can really come to understand that it's flashing in and out of the void moment by moment, because there is only the now moment. There is no past. There is no future. So everything is flashing in and out of the void moment by moment. And I think we talked about that a little bit last time.
Flashing out of
like the manifest,
Yes. But
unmanifest.
today we are giving this focus of each terminology. So
Mhm.
we are putting where does what fit. So this is this is actually awesome statement. Everything is flashing out of the void, including the thought, person, and the world. Right?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, there's no permanent experiencing happening. That's why everything's impermanent, because it's only momentary. There is no reality that stays like as a fixed continuity. It's all appearing out of that void.
It all happens as a, I missed the last word. It all happens. Sir,
I
I
don't
should make
remember
this
what I
font
said.
bigger. Okay, you started to say there's no reality which stays as a fixed continuity. There's no reality which stays as a fixed continuity. It all happens.
Maybe I said something about impermanently. No.
Mm, it all okay, I will use this word for now. Impermanent. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's continue with our thought and personality. Okay, so now if we say that only the now moment exists, you know what? This does actually go here. Okay. For this thought or the person to happen, if we go back here, a grass body and a brain is needed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then why? Okay.
But the gross body is also appearing out of the void.
Body, brain is appearing as a thought in the void, right? The body brain is
as a
also
thought, and also as the objective body is also appearing out of the void.
but as a thought. Okay, in the void it is appearing as a thought, and inside the thought it says finger, body, this hand stopping this table,
Mm-hmm.
right? So all these are all thought. So in the void, a thought appear, and thought shows this is a computer monitor, this is a table, this
You
is
can say
me. Yeah.
thought. Maybe you want to add like sensation to show that it's like, it's the subtle, like I consider like the sense is like a subtle thought. Like if you're touching a table, not only are you thinking that I'm touching a table, but you're also getting that sensation within the mind that you're touching a table.
Right. So sensations from senses appear as a thought.
It's called like a subtle thought.
Appear as, what's the difference between a subtle thought and an actual thought then?
Like the senses, you're not actually, you don't have to think like I'm touching a table. It's just the sense of touching the table, like the vibration of touching a table. It's appearing within the mind.
Sorry, can you repeat the statement?
You don't need to think that you're touching it like an object for that sensation of touching an object to appear within the mind. It's just the sensation, like the vibration.
Oh, wow. So the sensations happen and the thought recognize them. My my hands has touched this. The thought recognizes it.
Yeah, and the thought doesn't have to even come into play. It could just be the sensation arising within the mind.
Sensations don't need thoughts per se, but thoughts recognize that this sensation has appeared.
Yeah, and actually, it's funny the way that we actually do this is
Yeah.
the sensation appears,
Yeah.
and then after the fact, we say, "I touch the table." Like the sensation actually happens
First.
without any personal identification to it.
Wow.
And we actually take ownership of it by saying, "I touch the table." So
Sensation
what?
happen without any personal
Without any personal identification, and then
identification.
we add identity that like take ownership of it. So that's why you can say that everything just happens by itself, and there's no personal doer doing anything, because everything's happening first, and then we come in after the fact with the I thought and take ownership of it. And that's why like Ramana always like talks about like find the I, like find that I thought, hold on to the I thought, and see the unreality of it. That you're just coming in after the fact with everything that's happening. Like everything's happening already by itself and you don't actually own it until you come in after the fact saying, "Oh, I did that."
Okay. See, William, it is very easy for an average person like me to understand that, okay, sensations happens and then thought appears, right? Obviously, like if I'm sitting and if my legs is paining, then a thought appears, then I move the leg sometimes if there's a pain
Yeah.
somewhere, or if I have headache, toothache, any pain, or if it's very cold, right? I have to switch on the heater, right?
Mm-hmm.
So sensations happen, then thought appear. It triggers a thought, right? And then thought appears, and inside the thought, I appear. I mean, I am there in the thought. Then I make a decision. Okay, this is too hard. This is too cold. This is too painful. Like I should do this. So this is easy to digest for a common man, even though we are not aware of this. That we say it's very hard for me. I
Yeah.
don't know where I came from.
It, yeah, but you see how the sensation arises first, that you are hot
Right,
without any person being there.
correct. That is easily provable because I don't know what sensation is going to come next.
Exactly.
I, as a personality thought, I cannot predict. Like there could be a bomb outside, there could be hard, there could be snow, right? There could be a snake. Anything can happen. So I cannot predict what sensation is going to come. Only the sensation comes, triggers a thought, and then thought wakes up and it says, I am feeling hot. I am, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's
See, yeah.
it's unnecessary. It's an added
Ah.
it's an added it's an added step.
William, you are saying that the I, the personality, and the thought is unnecessary, but the whole world runs behind. I want to be the big guy. I want to that. I want to get that, and even I want to be happy, which is, I think, one of the biggest corruption because I
Yeah.
can never be happy.
Yeah.
Looks like
Nisargadatta said something along the lines of,
yeah.
somebody said, I want to be happy. He said, that's nonsense. He said, happiness is when the I isn't.
So it's like an oxymoron. Like
Yeah.
in the same sentence, I and happiness should never appear.
Yes. They're contradictory.
But the whole tourism industry and entertainment industry, these are all promise will make you happy.
Yeah.
These are all like trillion-dollar industries built upon
Well,
lies. And they strongly say, come to our place and we'll make you happy. You will be happy. We'll give you pleasure and happy. And your starting point itself is that, no, you don't exist.
yes.
Okay. Okay. So William, see, it is easy and logical for me to understand that physical sensations appear first and it triggers a thought, and then which brings the I, and then I thinks it is real and it decides, okay, I have to make a decision now because I'm
Hmm.
in control, I am the authority, I have to survive. Okay, so that much is easy for me to trace this back. But but um my problem is I've taken the ownership. See, in this whole chain, a sensation happens and a thought appears, and this thought is a thought which is related to the sensation. Let us assume, like, it is very cold now and I have to switch on the heater. A thought has come, hey, this is very cold, and I have to switch on, and then it brings the thought. Now what do I do? I mean, it makes a logical series of steps. Okay, it's hot now. Sorry, it's cold here. I should switch on the heater. Logical, okay? And
Hmm.
then somebody is calling me, the cell phone, it rings. Then I pick up the phone. Then the thought decides, okay, I should pick up the phone now, and then it talks, right? So now, how does the decision happens? Like, okay, this sense, this thought has come, or this sensation has come, so this thought has to come. That sensation has to come. That sound of my phone voice, that sensation has come. Then this thought has to this thought and this role has to respond. How does that decision making happens? And yeah, where does it happen?
I mean, the other thing that you're taking ownership of is your thought. You think it's your thought. The thought is just arising. Just the same way the sensation is arising, the thought arises. You feel cold, and then the
Mm.
thought arises, I feel cold. But there's no ownership of that thought. There's no owner to that thought. It's just arising out of the void.
But fortunately, right thoughts on that relevant thought only arises is my surprise, and I'm in awe with it. Like cold thought about cold comes, and
Yeah, but
telephone ring.
you're taking ownership of the thought. You're saying it's my thought.
Fine,
Like
I
who
don't
who is
decide.
who is the my that is watching the thought?
Okay, so there is no I yet. There is no J when the sensation or a thought arises. The J has not existed yet. Okay, so when the thought arises, then the J comes into picture. So then I think, J, I have to switch on the heater. I am
Yeah, but you're
accountable. And
you're doing the same thing with the sensation as you're doing with the thought. Like the sensation happens first,
yeah,
and then you say I feel cold.
correct.
The thought arises, I feel cold, and then you're taking ownership of that thought. But it's just like the sensation arising. You're putting more importance on the thought versus the sensation, but they're actually the same thing. There's no owner of either one of them.
But then where is the owner? Uh, the owner is part of the thought. See, you cannot say,
No, it's not. The thought has no owner. That's
the
that's
thought
the
doesn't have
that's the original problem,
owner.
is that we think that if something happens, there has to be an owner doing it. There is no thinker of thought. Like there is no person thinking.
One second.
You're better off saying thought is arising out of the void than saying I'm thinking.
We'll go there. We'll go there soon.
see this guy that you have there,
Yeah.
he doesn't ever exist.
I'm trying to somehow go there, and you're always like, look, no, he never existed. And somehow, let us see, where is that illusion? Seeing that illusion, maybe like it's an awesome thing, I believe. And also, William, one more thing for me to add is, like, for me, when trigonometry was introduced, I don't know, ninth grade or whenever, it was, it took me many months to understand in a simple way what is trigonometry.
Hmm.
Trigonometry is actually just characteristics of triangles which you can use in a real life scenario. Like without climbing a hill, you can tell by looking at the angle from where you are and walking a little bit, you can see how tall is that hill, for example.
Hmm.
That's the whole point of trigonometry. But when I understood it, it is like, there's no fear. Then there's no problem with trigonometry. I can learn. It's just characteristics of triangles, usage of the characteristics of triangle. And then I think in 11th grade, calculus was introduced to me. It took me many months to understand what is differentiation and what is integral calculus, right?
But I'll
So,
tell you one
yeah,
difference is that
yeah,
the person that's trying to understand this doesn't exist.
that the person will come to know someday.
Yeah, the person doesn't exist.
Never existed.
Yeah, you trying to understand from that point of view of the person does not exist.
Right. But I don't know that now.
You'll never know it if you keep trying to know it. If you keep trying to know it, you'll always think that you're there, and you'll never get out of that loop.
Okay. You know what? Just today morning, before we chatted, I uh, got this insight that um, that um, it is like Ramakrishna's stories. This is like a salt idol which is trying to see the depth of the
Hmm.
ocean, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, so in calculus and trigonometry, maybe I understood it after 6 months of study. But
Yeah.
here, what I'm going to understand is that the guy who started the search never existed.
Yes.
So be it. I'm not fearing that, right? So,
Okay.
but till now, please allow me to continue with my illusion
Okay.
because I'm trying to piece this puzzle. So step by step, and then let us go step by step, whatever we can, and then document it along the way so that this document will be helpful for a few other people. Honestly, that is my whole point. This
Yeah.
document will help people. I'm honestly, you know what? But there is like more than 50% reason why I'm documenting this. It is for others to understand because I mean, for me to understand is less than 50% reason, but others also, this document will be helpful is the other part. Yes, I am equally illusion as others, but the salt dal is leaving some details on the way. Let it vanish. I'm okay with that. But those notes can be helpful to maybe some other illusionary salt dals. Okay, so I'm continuing to the document this. Sensations triggers a thought, and and the funny part here, what you're saying, you know what? Yes, let me put it this way. I got it. Okay, generally what I do is I actually create a table. Let us see if I table. This is awesome. Thanks for your patience.
Mhm.
Okay. So now, um, you know what? Let us put it this way. Okay. Either a sensation triggers a thought and brings I,
Mhm.
others, the whole world, and let me also put this me, my, mine. Okay, so either a sensation comes which triggers a thought, which brings this I and the other and the whole world, me, mine, and mine, my heart, all together,
Mhm.
or even if you're sitting idle, even there is no physical external sensations, a thought appears. Hey, I have to meet this person tomorrow or whatever. Like that guy insulted me, or I have to do this, I have to achieve this, I'm a failure, whatever. A thought
But just
comes.
just say one other thing too is you don't have to go with that thought. Like even though that thought appears, that doesn't automatically create the I. You have the
Correct,
choice of
correct, correct.
you have the choice of not going with it. You can just see it as an appearance. You're aware that it's appearing, and it does not register as an I, like as
Uh,
somebody possessing the thought. It's just
Awesome,
a thought appearing.
right? Okay. See, this is what you are saying. Um, who doesn't have the choice of not going with what is the appearing?
The
Who
awareness,
doesn't?
the awareness.
Where is the awareness here? Oh, the void, you mean?
No, the awareness of the void. Like that, take it
Now
to the
we are bringing
present.
the awareness to the equation. Awesome.
Yeah.
Please tell me more.
If you're aware of the thought, it's not you as a person, it's the awareness. I wouldn't say if one, I would just say if there's awareness, because unless you say one with the capital.
Wait a second. Let me see if we can strike it up. I want that strike up font. Oh, strike. Is it strike? No. Where is strike? I want to show this later.
Yeah,
In the sense like,
I know what you're
yeah,
saying.
in the font they strike off, right? That
Mhm.
point that has to be highlighted here. Okay,
Because awareness is not personal. There's no
okay,
person
okay.
who's
So,
aware.
okay, please, can you make the statement again? If one is aware, I can't say if I can't say one is aware of the thought, then if awareness is aware of the thought, how do I put that?
If awareness is aware of the thought, then you have a choice to go with the thought or not, to
Then,
accept it as a reality or not. Because thought has no inherent reality. It's just a thought. It's imagination.
okay, so is this statement correct? If awareness is aware of the thought, is that phrase correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so one second, let me see if I make this font bigger. Okay, little bit bigger.
I mean,
If
awareness is always aware of the thought. Like awareness
okay,
is always there, but the mind, like somehow the mind gets caught within the thought and loses the recognition of the awareness that's always there.
Okay, this statement we have to change. Mind is get caught in the thought. No, I don't want to use the word mind because we are speaking about the mind
How
thoughts.
about it like
Yeah.
your attention? Your attention gets caught.
Ah. And is attention and awareness are the same?
No, because there can be an awareness of attention. Like you can tell it your attention's going across the room. Like you're looking across the room. Something's aware that my attention's moving across the room.
Right.
You're aware that your attention is moving.
I'm aware.
Well, you're not aware, but the awareness is aware.
Okay. So aware. Okay. Now I want to link these three things: the awareness, attention, and the thought. Awareness is, as we said, is always timelessly present,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yes.
So this awareness focuses on a thought which is called attention. No, no, let's not bring the word thought yet. Now, this awareness and attention, like how are they related? Like how do they? What is like awareness becomes attention?
No, awareness is just always awareness.
Okay.
It never changes. And that's not part of the experiencing. Attention is within the experiencing.
But attention is okay. So only when attention comes, the thought and experience comes, or is attention a part of a thought and an experience?
Attention is sort of like its own like, it's not a thought.
Okay.
It's like whatever your whatever your interest is being captivated by that in that moment is your attention. So it's not a thought, but it's not awareness either. It's somewhere in between. Like you could be your attention can be on an activity and it has nothing to do with thought. Your attention is on, you're watching a movie. And that's where your attention is at that point in time. But there's an awareness that your attention is on the movie. But what happens is you get so caught up in the attention that you've lost sight of the fact, or the mind has lost sight of the fact that there's actually like something outside of that moment.
Attention.
Yeah, just think about your day. Like there's a lot of things that happen that you just don't pay any attention to them.
Yeah.
You're walking down the street and you're not seeing like 99% of the things that are passing you by. You have no recognition of them whatsoever because your attention is not on them.
Fine, but you are speaking about inattention. Let us speak about attention. So,
yeah. Well, say you're walking down the street and you're looking at a car that you like.
Yeah.
That's where your attention is at that point in time. Like there's a car going down the road, and that's where your attention.
But then it started with a sensation. In this specific case, the color of the car or a moving object fell on my retina of the eyes, and then it says, "Hey, look, unconsciously there is a decision, or somewhere there is a decision." Oh, and you look at the car, you pay attention, and a thought comes, "Hey, this is a blue color car. I like this car," right?
Yeah,
So,
thought may not come, but a thought may not come. Your attention can just be there without a thought. You could just be looking at the car with no thoughts whatsoever in your head. Your attention is not on a thought. Your attention is on the experience, on that object.
are you speaking about the attention of all sentient beings, like every animal, bird, fish, like they are trying to pay attention. Like they're
Hmm.
moving, they're looking around,
Yeah,
eh, right?
it's the same thing.
And they don't have elaborate thoughts. I mean, they have little bit of thoughts and one or two words. They make noise. When they fear, they make noise and they interpret. So there is some level of interpretation they do, which let us call it as a thought, right? In their own capability. The thought comes later and the attention comes first. But when the attention comes first and then we are immersed in the thought, then can we say the attention is gone? Like aware, like
Well, then your attention's on the thought. Your attention's on the thought at that point in time. You can be attentive externally or internally. You can be so caught up in your thoughts with the attention on the thought that you have no idea what's happening around you.
but when I'm thinking, is there attention there? Like there's no conscious attention, right? I'm just immersed in that world of what happened yesterday. I'm immersed. So where is attention there?
I mean, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're inattentive.
Yeah. Uh,
Sometimes you, even after the fact, you go, "Oh, I lost my attention. Like I don't know where I was."
the thought thinks I lost my attention.
That comes after the fact.
Yeah, the thought thinks that I lost my attention.
Oh, that thought arises.
Correct. A thought has arisen which says I lost my attention and it want to bring back the attention.
Yeah,
How is it even possible? Thought, if thoughts are illusionary and unreal and transient, how can I bring attention? How can they? Yeah.
because there's the false idea of you being there.
Okay, the false idea of the I, which is in the thought, can even bring attention. Wow, that's a big deal, right? An unreal can brings can focus, can pay attention, can be deliberate. Oh, within its own unreality.
Yes.
But still, it is awesome that something unreal brings this thing called attention, which you are not clearly defined yet, so that it can deliberately say, hey, I got my exam tomorrow. I have to sit and study for the next 16 hours.
Yeah, but the thing is that that's, like you said, that's part of the illusion because there is no person. It's all happening as the consciousness moving everything.
But William, what surprises me is an illusion and unreal thing is manipulating the attention. It can force the attention not to go anywhere else for the next 16 hours. That conclusion, the illusion makes, the illusion makes a conclusion that I have my exam tomorrow. I have to sit and study for the next 16 hours without doing anything, and it does. Like I have done 16 hours
Yeah,
of
but
continuous study.
what I'm saying is that person never existed in the first place.
Right, a non-existing existent person. How can he manipulate?
But he's not there.
Is not there, fine, then this
But he but
manipulation happens.
yeah, but it's the same thing that he's taking ownership of something after the fact. Like a thought may arise that I have to study for 16 hours, and then he comes in after the fact, taking ownership of that thought. So even though it
Right.
appears that it's the individual that's doing it, it's just the thought arising.
No, no, wait a second, William. So now a thought has arisen. I have my exam tomorrow. Thought has arisen, unreal. I have my exam tomorrow, unreal. And a unreal conclusion happens, or as this North American Advaita teachers say, the apparent. I've heard that many people use the word apparent. So this apparent thought has arisen, the apparent conclusion that I have to sit and study for 16 hours happens. And then after 16 hours, the apparent thought concludes that I sat and studied for 16 hours. Is it all
Yeah.
correct?
Hmm.
But in that so-called 16 hours, the apparent thought sat and studied and it understood that whatever is in the books, and the next day it writes in the exam and it passes the exam, right? So now my point is everything can be illusionary. That at forcing the attention to sit and study for 16 hours, that looks like a miracle for me, an impossibility for me.
Yeah, because you're still there as the person thinking that it's a miracle.
Hmm.
Whereas I just see it as consciousness is just moving. There's no parts. There's no parts to consciousness.
No, I'm trying to understand attention. Let us not go to consciousness yet. Let us stay with attention and awareness for the next few minutes.
Yeah, but
And
what,
then,
what I'm saying is that it's important to understand that even the idea of attention is something that the mind is creating as a separate component for that individual.
this is beautiful. Okay. So even attention is an idea as cooked up by this thought, which is
Yeah,
appearing in the world, which is in the consciousness
yeah,
in a transient way.
yes. So it's always important to always keep that overall view that even these terms that we're bringing up and like separating into a different component of the experiencing
Hmm.
is just happening within the mind. Like the mind is creating this idea of attention or inattention. Like if you see the absolute nature of it, then you can see that that's just another idea that the mind is holding and creating that idea of the person who's there doing something individually.
Okay. Um, Thank you. Let us continue our journey. There is no journey, but let us continue with our journey of documenting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, somewhere, yeah, this is the challenge. There is somewhere, there is attention we want to bring to this. I thought of bringing, but I'm struggling. So there's a thought, sensation came, it triggered a thought, it triggered a thought. Then the attention came, and then this whole thought structure came. And each thought contains an I and the other and the world and me, my and mine references, right? But
Mm-hmm.
my what I was trying to come there at is you said we have a choice of not going to this thought structure. Where
Yeah.
is that choice? Like as far as I'm concerned, I'm jolted into reality. This illusion is jolted or presented, and then the I and the other and this world and then me, mine, this whole setup. And William, I've played chess in my high school and all. So I think this like a chess position. My king and my whatever capability and my history and my position and the other person and his position and this thing, and there are rules how I'm supposed to behave with the other person, like the chess move rules.
Yeah.
Have you played chess, William?
No, not a
Okay.
chess person.
Okay, but you know the basic rules, right? Like there is
Yeah.
there is pawns and king and all those things
Mm-hmm.
and the opposite, and then you have to positionally you have to follow the rules and you have to win. Like a knight will only move this way, a bishop will move this way, and a pawn can only move one step in the front, except in the first row, and your commander in chief and the king, right? So now, when the chess board is there, when you pay attention inside the chess board, right, then you are in trouble. Then there's a position, and then you are. I actually any chess board I see, I stare for like 2 3 seconds. I see my heartbeat going faster. Oh, this position, this guy is attacking. I have to attack. This is real. Now this is a winning chance. There's a hack. There's a position, right? In like when I look at a chess board, from first second onwards, my heart beats like increases. Like for me it is real. This king is attacking the enemy. Like the
Yeah.
knight is in a vulnerable position. He's going to attack. Right? I get into there, and from my childhood I've seen like my heart beats like mad when I'm engrossed in a chess game. And I've played like one chess game 5 to 6 hours continuously. My attention is there when I was kid and all. And I can play blindfolded chess, like from
Hmm.
beginning till the end. Like I can bring the whole chessboard in my mind, and then I can say, hey, e4, e5, nf3, and c6. I can play and I can imagine this thing, right? So the point I'm trying to say is, when this guy comes, then everything, whatever is shown by the thought, are real, like in a dream. You can say a dream is unreal, but then when a tiger chases me, there is nobody to come and tell me, hey, look, it is unreal. When the thought has come, when I'm inside the thought, that unreal, whatever you can say later or from outside the thought, that is the only reality for this thought. You agree?
Well, what I'm going to say is what you
Yeah.
have to do is you have to turn around and go back from where did the thought arise,
But
and
I cannot.
that's the
Yeah.
only way that you're going to see that that thought is the unreality. And it goes for the whole experiencing, because everything's coming out of the void.
Mm, okay. So what you're saying is, see, this is a huge challenge. It's not easy, right? Um, okay. So what you're saying is, when the thought has appeared, take a step back and see that this is just a unreal thought. Can we say that?
Yeah, it's just an appearance,
That it is just an appearance and there is
and it comes and goes. It doesn't stay.
no
So
reality. But
how could it be real? How could it be real if it's just arising out of something else and disappearing immediately?
but but the problem is, William, I don't know that. When you show me his chess position, it becomes real for me. This
Yeah,
knight is
but
attacking the bishop. How can I
it's
stop and
because
take a step back?
it's because your attention is outward. Your attention of your consciousness is outwardly focused instead of inwardly focused, and it's something that you have to reorient yourself over time. Like there's like body consciousness, and then you can turn that like around to say, where's that consciousness arising from? And it's as simple as saying that, like, I'm arising out of the void, and I'm not here unless the void is there. So how could I be real if I'm there as the void before the experiencing shows up? How could the experience ever be real?
I am the void.
That's part of, like, it's part of
I'm not this
you.
thought, but I'm the void in which this thought appears.
And you could take it back further, like the awareness of the void. Like the void's not real either, because the awareness of the awareness has to be there to see the void. So you're eliminating from the experience, like the external world. The body can't be there without the mind, and then the mind can't be there without the void, and the void can't be there without the awareness, and the awareness can't be there without the pure consciousness that is aware of the awareness. It's like a process of elimination that you just have to conclude that how could this ever be real if it needs all these other components to be there for it to be here? Like it can't be real. It can't be what you are. And then something happens when you do that. A knowingness arises within yourself that that's what I am. because you can see the unreality of everything else. And the only thing that can see the unreality of everything is the reality. And then that's where you conclude that this is what I am. I can't be anything other than that.
Wow. Beautiful.
And it should be good for you because it's a structural thing. Like you're eliminating these, the external world can't be there without the mind can't be there without the void can't be there without the awareness, and the awareness can't be there without the pure consciousness that's aware of it. It's all structural. You have to turn your mind around and look that way, and forget about trying to understand it within the experience, and because you know that that's the unreality.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so I faintly remember nidana is the Sanskrit Pali word Buddha uses. Even many spiritual gurus uses. That is like slow down. Nidana colloquially it just means slow down. Any thought appears, see if you can slow down and see that separation or unreality of the thought instead of fully getting immersed and involved in it. Awesome. Okay. And one more thing I want to add. When you say attention is outwardly focused, you are insulting the thoughts also, or you are referring to thoughts also. Thoughts are also outside. But generally we think the world is outside and thoughts are inside. I am inside. Right. So when you say attention is outwardly focused, it also includes the thoughts.
Thoughts, feelings, emotions.
And obviously the physical external world.
Yes.
None of these guys has got any reality.
When you trace it back.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. So even in this image, the physical external world and the mental represent. Okay, I should add. Oh, this whole thing is a thought. Attention. I should put attention somewhere. Where should I put that? Attention is a key term.
I don't think you should muddy up that.
I know, right? Okay.
That because it's more of like a specific thing too.
Okay, I will leave it for now. Let us see. Oh, you know what? The turn inward, we have put it here. So turn inward means not only this physical external world is outside.
Turn attention inward.
Awesome.
Yeah, because it's something we just never trained to do. Like nobody ever tells you that you can turn around and look.
Right. And yeah, I mean, even physically, like they say, go out and explore the world. That is too much going out.
Yeah, that's what everybody's doing. Everybody wants to get the greatest experiences. Like that's the only focus.
They even take a ship and go. If the land is not enough,
Well, we're going up into space now, right? Like.
Oh yeah, they want to go to Mars.
Yeah. But you won't turn around and actually look at who you are.
Oh yeah. I mean that is the same old Osho story where God will decide to hide inside the human because you go to Himalayas, you go to Moon, you go to Mars, you go to other solar systems. These humans will even go to Mars, but they'll not pay attention inside.
Yeah.
Mars costs billions of dollars to go travel, right? They don't mind.
Yeah.
Like 100,000 people work like in NASA and all, or even SpaceX or whoever, right? Like
Yeah.
tens of thousands of people work for years together, spending billions of dollars to go and explore Mars or Moon. But they will not, each of those 1,000 people should or has the capability to turn inward, but they will not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. So what I learned is habitually, traditionally, culturally, and with peer pressure. Somehow, every human being, I don't know, I can say that. Before I say that, I need to know, does other human beings exist? Other
I mean,
human
it's
exist inside me. I mean,
you have your projection of who you see. They
consciousness is projection, not
Yeah.
my projection, because I'm just a thought was appeared.
Right.
Okay, then
Yeah.
let us start this thread. That's a thought I have appeared, and let us say my colleague has also appeared. Now, what is the reality of that colleague or another person?
It's part of consciousness.
The universal consciousness, the
Yeah.
one consciousness.
Hmm.
Oh, so wait a second. See, William, till now we were saying, hey, look, um, go inside, pay attention inside, because whatever you see is unreal, because they're all inside a thought, which is in a body mind. In a body mind, which is also created by the thought. Um, you know what? So my body, my mind is all thought in a void, appearing in void. But somebody else also appears inside my void, and he looks like he has got agency. Like he will decide to fight with me or to hug me, right? Yes,
Yeah.
it appears in my thought that he's coming to like fight with me or coming to hug me. But what is his reality or her reality?
He's just what you're saying. It's just whatever you're projecting him as within your own mind.
Right. In this mind and this body, no, this body, mind. Okay. Whatever is projected, sorry, what is the right term I want to use? Whatever is appearing here in the as a thought, right? Whatever appearing as a thought here says that Williams is there, right? William is another person, and looks like for this whatever is appearing, William is speaking to me. He has got agency, he has got independence. He is not going to obey. Like this arm I can lift and drop. Looks like for me William is not going to obey, but he is willing to collaborate with me. I'm happy for that. He's speaking to me, collaborating, and then if I tell him, hey, let's meet next week, we will meet next week. So okay, what is William's reality? I mean, I understand that this pure consciousness created this thought, and I'm here. And there is also set of thoughts. I imagine there's a set of thoughts appearing in William's mind, and we are interacting. But
The thing is that you're only interacting within your own mind.
mm, mm, based on the sensations which I see for of William.
Yeah, just like a thought like arises within your mind, or a sensation like a sound, like you hear a
Mm,
sound like a bird singing,
yeah,
you're going to hear somebody speaking in the same way you
yeah.
hear a bird singing. And it's all happening within your own mind, what you're going to interpret that as. Like if somebody like insults you,
Mm,
you have the option of like taking the insult as a reality, or just letting it go like a bird singing and it has no effect on you. So you're creating your own reality within your own mind based on your conditioning of your conditioned perception of how you see that person. So you're creating the entire like transaction.
this is not easy yet. Give me 1 second. Quick time check. So time is around 8 o'clock for me. I still can go for another half an hour. You're good for another half an hour?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. See,
Yeah, you
William.
can't
Yeah.
you can't share your world with somebody else. Like it's your world. You're creating your own world.
No, wait a second. You cannot say you are creating your own world. Uh, 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 Thoughts appear. Okay, hold on. Okay. A thought has appeared. See, this is a thought. Okay. Now, whether through sensations or whatever. Oh, I put the thought here. You know what? This is start of the appearance of thought. Along with attention, a thought has come. Okay. Now, this is a thought. In this thought, there is I and the other and the world and the me, mine and ownership and past history. Everything is there.
Yeah, that's all
Okay.
happening within your mind.
You cannot say within your mind.
Well,
Yeah.
whatever is appearing, whatever is
Appearing.
appearing.
Yes. Let's use whatever is appearing. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Thank
Mm-hmm.
you. And then makes it very clear. Okay. Let me bring this guy down. What did we say? Whatever is appearing. Awesome. Whatever is appearing. Whatever is appearing. Okay. Let's even put it this way here. Okay. In whatever is appearing, a thought has appeared, right? When thought has appeared, let us say I'm not going to um, go with nidana or slowness or patience and say, hey, is this real or not? I'm not like,
Mm-hmm.
going back, right? So let us say I'm attached, involved, immersed, engaged in the thought. Okay. I'm inside the thought now. I have taken a role, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a colleague, I'm a father, I'm a son, I'm a husband, I'm friend, I'm a learner, right? I'm a taxpayer. There's thousands of roles. So I've taken a role now. I'm speaking to my son. When I'm speaking to my son, I don't think, is this real? No. He's asking a question. Dad, shall I take
Yeah.
the car? I'm
Mm-hmm.
responding, yes or no, right? Or I need the car, right? Whatever. In that fraction of a second, uh, there is none of those things exist. Like even consciousness, awareness, none of those realities is real. I'm a father now. That's the real. Like even in dream, when a tiger chases me, none of the void or awareness or consciousness, none of those things are real. Like tiger chasing is real. I have to run is the only reality. There's no time to stop and think and ask a question. Should I go attention? Should I go inward? Right? So from
Well,
this
that's just
point of view, I'm
yeah.
asking the
Yeah.
question. Okay. So now from this point of view, where did I start? Mm, yeah. Other. Okay. The other. I'm a thought. I'm the father, and other is my son or my friend or my wife and colleague. When this interaction is happening, for me, it looks like the other person is real. My son is standing here. My wife is standing here. You are online. For me, it is real. In this reality, what is the reality of the other? Yes, the other is in my imagination. I agree. If I'm sleeping, even with the other is talking, I do not know, right? For example. So, what is the reality of the other? What I'm trying to say is, a few minutes ago, you tried to say the other is also created by the consciousness and run by the consciousness. And even to ask you, I can think that even if I die, looks like the other person is going to live for if the longevity of Canada is like whatever 75, 80 years, I just on an average assume, okay, I might die when I am whatever date it is, but then this is a kid, he's going to live for another year, right? So there is an unreality of the other from my point of view, the thoughts point of view, because I myself am unreal. But I want to know what is the reality of the other person. I mean, is there any reality of the other person? Is the consciousness going to continue to run, make the heart beat for the other person?
Yeah, but you won't know that if you're not there.
I will
The
not
world
know, but
the world won't be there.
my world won't be there. But will let us say my friend Jack, will Jack, let's say Jack, it's theory only. Let us say I die today and Jack is there. He's going to live for 65 years or another 20 years.
Yeah, I mean the rest of the consciousness will still be as it is.
Ah, awesome. Thank you for the statement. The rest of the universal consciousness will timelessly be present, and this game will most probably continue to go,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Hmm. This is, but I was never real. I never existed. The personality
Yeah, I mean I'm talking that the illusion will still be there. Like
for somebody else.
think of
For whom?
consciousness as points of perception. Each individual is a point of perception. It's part of the unreality because obviously as the absolute there are no parts. But if you're talking about the relative, like the relative unreality, there's billions of points. I mean, if you include like animals and insects, there's probably trillions of points of perception that the same consciousness is looking out of that point of perception. So if you die, that one point of perception just goes away.
Is that the reason why I should not hurt others physically?
Well, yeah, there is no other. Like as I think Ramana said that somebody said, "How should I treat others?" And he said, "There is no other."
There is no other. But there are other points of projection for this universal consciousness.
I mean, that's why I capture flies in the house and I like let them outside. Like I don't kill a fly. Or I'll see like an ant on the ground and I'll not step on it. Like,
Right. But then how do you reconcile this with Ramana's statements that that ant doesn't exist or others don't exist?
well, because it's just part of that relative illusion.
Oh, okay. Wait. If it is relative illusion, why do you care? Just stomp on it and destroy.
But at the same time, it is the absolute. Like it's both.
Hmm. Sorry, I should not have said stomp on it. Even I love whatever I can. I don't want to kill. I should not even said that. Okay.
Yeah, actually, I probably should have just said it's the absolute. Like if you really want to know the reason why, like because you're seeing it as yourself.
Oh, okay. This is the other point of view. Like I am nothing or I am everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you are about to step on an ant, you stop yourself from doing it. If you see that, because uh, yeah, can you elaborate like why? Yeah, I need
Because
some more. Yeah.
you know it as yourself. You know that it's part of who
No,
you are.
that ant is not William. Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
Not
The ant is not William, but then
it's consciousness. It's
that ant is consciousness. That ant is. and you want that to live. You don't
Yeah.
want that to die.
Well, it's yourself. So why would you want to bring harm to it, to yourself?
But anyway, it is going to die, and William and Jay is going to die. Why
Yeah,
you
but you
want to
don't.
why you want to
You,
run this why you want to run this show then? Why? What's the purpose of running this show?
who could give an answer to that?
Ah, beautiful. That's a beautiful answer. Yes. William and Jay cannot know that.
Yeah.
It is, as they say, it is the Leela or Maya.
Hmm.
Leela just means like play for fun. You can't ask. The problem is, even if nothing is happening, then we are going to ask the universal consciousness, hey, why nothing is happening? We'll go and
Yeah.
complain. Make something to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. You're not. You can never get an answer. Like the relative can never get an answer from the absolute.
Right. And even if something is happens, then we'll go and complain. Why something is happening? Stop everything.
You know,
So,
the nature. The
uh,
nature of the mind is just to keep moving.
hmm. No, the nature of the consciousness is to keep moving, in which the mind appears. And then it asks the question, hey, why this is moving? This is suffering. I want it to
I
stop.
wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's the nature of the consciousness to keep moving,
But then that is what it runs this whole show.
because you can be the consciousness that's not moving, just watching the show. Like the awareness of the experiencing is not moving, and then the awareness of the awareness is the pure consciousness, which never changes. So
Okay.
it's got both components. It's got the consciousness that's not moving, and it's also got the relative movement that's happening within that absoluteness. And the only thing that actually has that movement is coming within the mind,
Okay.
or whatever's appearing.
William, okay. See, till now, I know my mind. And then you come along and say, hey, look, wait, this mind and whatever it shows is transient and it is illusory. Turn your attention inward and stay with your void and be. And if you're aware of the void instead of what the void shows, then in that awareness, you will know that you are the universal. I mean, somehow you will know that the universal one consciousness is what running the show. That much is what I've heard. And I think in the last week and even now you're saying you can know that you are that consciousness. Is it so?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You can't know it through the mind. You can just be it.
Wow. Wow. This is a big deal. You cannot know it
You can't like
through the
think
mind, but you can know that it is you.
just by being it.
You can know that by being it in the uppercase.
Yeah.
This is a big deal, William.
Yeah.
Like, I always thought I'm this tiny individual having suffering and responsibilities and stress and pain and lack and all those things, right? And then you're coming and say, no, no, hold on, no, you are not that. If you take a step back, turn your attention inward, and know that all these thoughts are coming in a void, appearing in a void,
Mm-hmm.
and then if you stay with the awareness and be aware of this void and never don't be attached with all the unreality of this thought. If you are stay with the awareness, then you can know that you are that you are that only the universal consciousness in which everything is happening.
you have to
including
be aware of the awareness as well. Like
right.
if you, yeah,
Yeah. Stay with the awareness or be aware of the awareness, right?
yes,
If you do that, then somehow you will know that you are that universal, you are that one
pure
timeless
yeah,
universeness, pure
pure consciousness.
consciousness, in which everything is happening, including that individual of Jay and
Yes,
William and every bug,
yes,
every
everything.
planet, every sentient, non-sentient, everything you can know that you are that.
Yes.
This is mind blown figuratively and literally.
Yeah, that's the whole key. Just what you just said. That's it. There's nothing else to know or learn, or it's
I mean, whatever you know is here. Like
yeah,
infinite of amount of knowledge you do 1,000 PhDs, you explore all solar system and interplanetary system. They're all inside. Like it is
yes.
inside you. That you know what? This being also I want to put in uppercase for now by being because that's a key term, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's why, like for Nisargadatta, like
yeah,
when his guru told him, like, you are that,
yeah.
just hold on to the fact that you know that's what you are.
You are this. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the only change that needs to take place, is to know that that's what you are.
Oh, this is okay. So what you're saying is when I am the personality, like fighting personality, stressful personality, pleasurable personality, searching for personality, when I turn inwards and I say neti neti, not this, not this, not this, not this, when I keep going back,
Yes,
then I'll one time at an awareness of awareness, I know I am everything. I started with not this, not this, not this.
yes,
Then I went
yes,
end with I am everything.
yes, because you're the one that's seeing the unreality of it all. Because if you can witness something, then that something can't be you. You're the one you're the ultimate witness that's seeing everything, even the witness of awareness.
But you know
And then
what?
everything
Yeah.
everything filters everything filters out of that, so you know that everything that's actually appearing is also you, because it's coming out of you.
Mm. See, William, this thing I want to understand. When you say, if I can see something, then that is not me.
Mm-hmm.
What if, what, see, in a mirror, I see something. In a sense, that is me. Like if I comb my hair, if I do like this, the same thing happens there. So, no, the point I'm trying to make is I want to ensure that whatever I see is not me. What if what I see is the me, like in a mirror? What if? Or how can I be very sure that whatever I see is not me? How can we
How
be
could
sure?
how
Yeah.
could you how could you see something and from the point of awareness and be it?
Okay. From the point of view of awareness, whatever I see is not me. Okay. Okay. From the point of view of awareness. Got it. Now, but
Yeah, like you could be in like a dark room, and there's still an awareness that you're there. Like, you don't have to see your body. There's an awareness that you're there.
okay.
Correct?
But yes. Yeah.
So you don't have to see your body to know that it's there. There's an awareness that it's there. So you know that that body can't be you, because you don't have to actually be looking at it to be aware of it. Because a lot of times people will say, well, I'm looking at myself, so I'm aware of myself. Like, that's kind of the thing that people will try to like latch onto.
Hmm.
I think like Muji always says, like, I'm looking at my hand's not looking at me.
Right.
I'm aware.
I am having sensations of this physical external world and my body. So it means that I am not the physical external world and I am not the body.
Yeah, because there has to be an awareness that
But
is separate from it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
sorry, but if somebody slaps me, let's assume, I mean, generally, somebody slaps me, he said, he slapped me, not my body.
But that's just a thought that you're taking ownership
Right.
of after the fact.
Okay, okay. Hmm.
I mean, there's an awareness of the slap before the mind comes in to take ownership of it.
Hmm. But all 8 billion, nearly 8 billion people in the world will agree that he slapped me if they've seen it, right? They're not going to say, look, it's just a thought where you have got the sensation and it is transient, don't bother. No normal so-called civilized human being is going to say that it is a thought which happened in a void and we are all
Yeah, but
one.
everybody that's saying that is there as the I, as the personal
Thought,
I.
in their thought.
Yeah.
So from their thoughts point of view, like somebody slapped Jay from their thoughts point of view, and they will come and stand
But
in a witness.
I'll say something about like even the thought, like there's an awareness of the thought. Like that's something that we kind of bypass, that even the thought, there has to be an awareness of the thought, so that thought can't be you or yours. There's an awareness of the thought.
Right, right, right. Fine. So even if there's an okay, there is an awareness of the thought. Even if there's an awareness of the thought, if somebody asks, a judge asked, hey, did you see this guy slapping the other guy? You're going to say yes, right?
I mean, yeah, but
Okay.
I don't see how that's like relevant.
It is relevant because it is from the other points of projections.
Yeah, but why are you concerned about other points of projections when it's your point of projection that you should
Right.
be focused on? Like, the mind can spin this 10,000 different ways to keep you caught.
Yes, it can, but um, but um, I'm sincerely here. I know that there is a potential possibility of corruption, but I know I'm knocking at multiple doors and looks like all doors are closed. Just validate.
I'm
Okay.
gonna put you on speaker for a second.
Please. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna charge my AirPods.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So William, this is in a sense Jay's brain and Grass body's point of perception, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is say your points of perception, and then there's a snake will have its own points of perception, but even its points of perception, even its so-called reality of the snake, only if it is visible in these points of perception, then there is that illusionary reality. Like if a snake appears, it can kill me, I mean kill this body and shut down this thoughts appearing, right? So
Yeah.
Okay, so in that sense, this is another point of perception which can actually potentially permanently shut down the appearance of these thoughts inside this brain, which is inside this grass body. It can happen from the universal point of view, from the whole point of view, right?
Hmm.
So this body and mind and this thought has to respond accordingly to the snake, right?
Right.
So then there is a reality for this thought, or I have to value this thought. If this thought shows there's a snake, run, then it is better this thought or whatever is appearing in the thought. The thought takes some action from this point of perception that run away. Don't
I
go and
mean,
hug.
you may run away without having a thought. You don't have to think, run away. You're just going to run away.
Actually, it's a very good point. Thank you. As
Hmm.
it clarifies one more theory which I have, that we uh, we are still have got reptilian and mammalian part of human mind which respond immediately, even without the conscious thinking structures being even needed,
Right.
right? Like, yeah, okay. So actually, that's a uh, I don't want to use a smart answer, but it's a beautiful answer. It takes care of this reptilian response, actually reaction we should call. Even inside, even though the mind appears wherever it is, this body has got humongous intelligence, including a reptilian and a mammalian reactions. It can react fast
Hmm.
and save the body and take care of itself even before the thought appears. So, see, you said the body appears in the mind. Body appears in the mind. But body seems to have its own intelligence, even without the mind.
Correct.
Who is running the body then?
Consciousness. Same thing. That's
Okay.
same thing. That's breathing. Like what's breathing you? what's
S-
what's
Hmm.
causing the heart to pump?
So then what is the reality of the heart other than the mind? Other than, okay, see, if, sorry, let me rephrase my question. In whatever is appearing as a thought, uh, sometimes let us assume a person who lived like 2000 years ago, who doesn't have the concept of a heart or a kidney, right? So
Right.
uh, unless you educate some person there's a kidney which filters your blood and brings the urine, the person, there's no way to know, right? So let us assume, okay, this kidney, the nephron complex mechanism functioning, the universal consciousness is making it to run, okay? Now I'm a person who lived 3000 years ago. I don't have any thought like what's a kidney. I never have this thought or a word for kidney, but the universal consciousness is running this kidney, right? So then what is the reality of the kidney then? See,
It's just consciousness.
consciousness is running these kidneys physically and digesting my food, correct?
Yes.
What is the
Yeah.
relation between, yeah, this kidney and this
Conscious.
point of perception?
Like
Yeah.
consciousness is running everything the same way. Like a flower grows. Like you're moving the same way a flower moves. like who's to say like
I'm not
how does a
asking why.
flower?
No.
Yeah.
I agree that I should not ask this consciousness ever why you are doing this.
Mm.
Nobody can ask that question. That I'm clear. Okay. What I'm trying to understand is, so this consciousness is running spontaneously here now, the whole physical universe. So
Hmm.
so then there's a reality of this physical universe. Then there's some reality.
I mean, it's like
Sorry.
It's consciousness. And it's you can say it's real, but you can also say it's unreal, because the only reality is that which doesn't change. That which doesn't change. Like the reality that you're here saying this is real, it's dying into the moment, out of the void, moment by moment, because there's only this now moment. So how real? How could something be real if it has no permanence? You can't hold on to the last moment ever. It's just a projection, like the same way you're watching a movie. The projection is gone the second that it appears.
Okay, so the universe is physically projecting this physical reality, as this arrow mark shows, and it also projects this person, whatever is there.
Yeah, the thing is, you have to get rid of the idea that like what is real and what is unreal. Like you have to say that the only thing that is real is what I am as the pure consciousness, because that's the only thing that doesn't change. Everything else comes and goes. And it's like a hard pill to swallow.
So be it. We will do our level best, whatever hell comes. Like, I mean, if Buddha can renounce his luxury and like work for so many years, I mean, whatever sacrifice it takes, if you want it, you have to swallow hardest pill also.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the complexity of what we're going through, really, it comes down to, can you decide that everything that appears is unreal, and the only thing that's like not here is actually the reality. Like that's if you create a concise like question of what do you have to do? You have to see everything as unreal. Like even the idea of like all this like figuring stuff out, like this is all the unreality. And the only thing that's real is the thing that does not ever appear. And it just becomes a question of belief. Like, do you believe this is real? Or do you believe that everything that appears is just appearing and disappearing, and it's coming out of you, which is the reality. But you can't know that. Like I always say, like the dream is never going to awaken. This is the dream. The dreamer has to awaken, which is the pure consciousness. That, oh, everything that I see here is just my dream. It's as simple as that.
But William, the only time the dreamer wakes up is when there's a nightmare.
Oh yeah, you gotta suffer. You gotta suffer enough to want to
wake up.
I guess you have to turn around out of the experiencing and look back.
Oh, then we should have it here. I don't know if you have it here. From experiencing.
Yeah, because you know how you said like earlier that you kind of like said this is a big deal, that I am just there and everything's appearing out of me. The hard thing is just to stop at that point.
Yes, and after like 1 second of making the statement, I come back here and I say, oh, I have this work to do. I have to take care of this. I have the stress and I have to finish this. Like, you know, all these things comes back. Instead of saying that everything's happening. Yeah.
And that's when you start to have to see everything, like whatever you're doing is the expression of what you actually are. Like you're beyond all of this, but all of this is your expression. And that's why, like, when you see an ant or whatever, you see it all as yourself. You have to keep seeing it all as yourself, or you get caught into that idea of me being separate from these other things. And you almost have to, like, you have to accept whatever is happening within the experiencing. Like, that's just the way that it is. To come to that conclusion that I'm beyond all of this, just because you don't want to keep getting caught up in the idea of things needing to be different. But even the idea of things needing to be different is just part of the expression as well. But it's more of like to get to loosen things up, to get rid of that stickiness of, the personal I.
Okay. This is very helpful, William, for sure. And I don't think I'm going to take like many years hanging out with you with with these sessions. I think we have done 3. I think maybe 3 more might be sufficient for us to like document as a whole. And I think we can write a 1,000-page volume out of this if anybody wants. But yes, I don't think like we are actually, yeah, I mean, nailing the core here, right? See, we started here, and then we went here, and then here, and then we are here now. And I think another 3 sessions, another 3 more sessions, I think most of what you want to cover, I think, will be done. There is nothing more, I believe. But obviously, um, uh, it's not going to take years of our collaboration. I mean, there's not much. we are, I mean, I don't know use the word nailed it, but we are very close to putting whatever is the chorus, I think, right?
I agree.
Another 2-3 sessions, I think, will be a good. Unfortunately, I did not had time this whole week. I was a bit busy. I could otherwise, like, my idea is I want to go through your previous 100 tweets and get more insights from them, and then see if I can fit something. And like even this is awesome. I think, like, separating these 4 and putting this quality so that this guy should remember or be reminded that the reality of whatever is shown or seen, right? Shown or seen, the reality of that, it has to see that there is no reality there, and then turn your attention inward and stay. You know what? This text has to come here. Yeah. Turn inward. One sec. Yeah, turn inward, and then yeah. So I think most of these things you are capturing, and unfortunately I may have to go now. I
Fine.
have a right. So
I gotta run to the gym anyway.
I see. Okay. So next Thursday we can meet.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Thank you. I'll do my level best to about okay.